and welcome to another episode of Wrestling with Bros. This is Big Baby Ben.
Judas Black here tonight. Tonight we have a very special guest, bringing back A.M.B. You know, he's near and dear to us. We're definitely A.M.B. marks. We love having him on the show. And I was noticing something there, A.M.B. It looks like you got a similar energy drink to me there. Is that what you're drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking the bombsicle, frozen
Yep.
bombsicle one.
I got the midnight cherry tonight. So
Yeah,
definitely.
these have kind of been helping me. I kind of have long days, long
Oh
nights
yeah.
sometimes. A lot of editing and stuff like that. Trying to promote myself. So, I drink these sometimes at night. So when I got a lot of things that I want to get done. So
Yeah, you
it's
should try
wonderful.
the natural ones. They're even more a little more give a little more boost than just the regular ones. I tried them. They're at Hy-Vee right now, 2 for $4. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna grab some of these too. So
Yeah. As you people get invested into the wrestling stuff, you tend to realize a lot of wrestlers usually have an energy drink on them or close
mhm.
by. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, no, I've got a lot of things that I'm trying to get done throughout the week. So, gonna be drinking a lot of these. So,
Yeah, the C4s are great, man. They definitely are. So, let's get into it tonight here. A&B, you've been on the show a few times, but for the people that are kind of new to the show, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, man?
I'm an up and coming independent wrestler from the Midwest. I'm located from Ottawa, Illinois. It's my hometown. I wrestle out of Iowa, Chicago, sometimes Wisconsin, mainly the Midwest area. I'm looking to branch out. I started chasing professional wrestling, like actually pursuing this in 2019. Uh, had some training and it was cut short due to a car accident. And, I just picked it right back up when I felt the time was ready and when I felt I wanted to pursue again. And a year or so has passed, and I've held a couple championships and been able to main event some big shows and share locker rooms with amazing talents from all over the world. So I just feel blessed to be able to be in this business, man. I'm just a young kid, a young up and coming kid in the business trying to make a name for himself. And all the support, man, over the last few weeks has been amazing. I kind of suffered a concussion a couple weeks ago, and just to hear the amount of respect and admiration that the fans have for me, to know that I'm new and they admire what I do, so it means a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just out here trying to make a name, and challenge the very best that there is in the area, and eventually do what I do on the biggest platform, which is WWE, or AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, professional wrestling has always been there in my life, and I got a lot of admiration for the people that have paved the way for small guys like myself, and for the guys that are still paving the way for the guys in the future. And it's pretty cool to kind of sit back and think that I'm a part of that process in some way. And some guys are one day are going to be looking up to me and being like, man, that's cool. Like you inspired me. So, I'm hoping one day I leave a big impact in this business, and that's all I'm here to do. Just have fun and make an impact in the professional wrestling business. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Believe it or not, though, I was actually over at Chicago Style last week doing my training and stuff, and this male and female wrestlers they came into the building, and I didn't recognize them at first, and it took me a minute. I like the female looked familiar. Like I was like, is that like it was like processing in my head trying to figure it out. And then she was in the ring running a rep with somebody. I think it was the other female that was there, and then somebody called her Sky, and I'm like, nah, there ain't no damn way. And I started looking at, I looked her up on my phone real quick. Sure the shit, it was fucking Sky Blue that was there, from AEW, and then her boyfriend, Kyle Fletcher. They were over there at the training session this last Thursday, so it was pretty cool.
oh
Uh,
yeah, that's
getting
sweet.
uh, getting a chance to see them work in the ring, and a chance to be able to meet them in person. So
Yeah, a little side note. So she was actually the first person to ever bump me in a wrestling ring. In
really,
2019, she was still on the independent circuit. and I had just started my training, and I was one of the smaller guys at Woodstock at the time where we were training at, and she would always have to like kind of show me the ropes. So, uh, you know, to kind of see how she's doing and where she's at now, it's pretty cool. I know a lot of people
Mhm.
that are like real close friends with her and stuff, and
Yeah.
everyone's proud of her. Like she's doing very good for herself, and that's pretty cool that you got the opportunity to kind of like see her outside of like a show element. So yeah,
Hmm.
all props to Sky Blue. That's awesome. You
Man,
got that in her.
I mean, she handled her own in that ring. She was, we did this run through pin game, and all the guys, I was just watching, but she was taking different styles of pins and stuff. They were
Mhm.
playing what they call the pin game, and man, I mean, she handled her own in there. I mean, she took every one of those pinfalls like a champ. She's just like clockwork in that ring, man. She just up and down, and no problem. So
Yeah,
definitely
she
very
can she
high
can hang
endurance.
with the best. I've seen her wrestle guys. I've seen her wrestle girls. She's exactly what she says she is. She deserves to be on the platform she's at, and
Yeah.
all power to Sky Blue and much respects to her. Nothing but the
Yeah.
best. So
Yeah, she was wearing a shirt that says "Wrestling is life."
yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely.
yep,
It's a lifestyle to a lot of us.
yeah,
Um, we eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff 24/7, and
yep,
that kind of sets us apart from some people. And it pays in the long run. You dedicate yourself to something, just like anything in life. You stick with it. Opportunities will come along the way. So all
okay,
props to Sky Blue for betting on herself and taking the route that she did. And now look at her. It's pretty cool.
absolutely, absolutely. So tonight we're gonna kind of dig into some of the youngest world champion, and A.M.B. We know that you're one of the younger world champions we've came across and talked to and stuff. Um, why don't you kind of talk about your title reigns that you got going on right now?
So yeah, there was another company kind of local to me. I had won the United States Championship there. Had a nice program with Nasty Nick Nolan, a graduate from Black and Brave Academy. He had former training and experience with Brian Kendrick and stuff like that. The
Oh
guy's
wow.
a smart guy.
Cool.
Um, it was awesome to be able to work a program, like a real program, and tell a story with someone, and to be trusted in that way, with the amount of experience that I had, especially at the time, to just go out there and kill it. And we told an awesome story over the course of like 3 4 months. And honestly, man, without that dude, there wouldn't be an A&B. The story that we told there was awesome, and I had some good title defenses with that championship. And fast forward to my time at Honor Among Wrestling. Um, Again, Nasty Nick Nolan and I crossed paths in my debut. He costed me a chance at a number one contender opportunity, and uh, I just kind of kept grinding, and whoever they put in front of me, I wanted to steal the show. And I don't know, maybe the stars aligned for me one day, but I got the opportunity to wrestle Conan Lycan, who held this championship for 200 plus days,
Yes.
and carried the company on his back. He's got the nickname moniker, the Land Shark. The dude's a tank for real.
Yes.
Um, to be
Nasty.
Yeah, to be 260 pounds and go out there and move like a cat, and you know keep up with smaller guys like myself, but also have the strength and everything to just dominate everybody in the locker room. Like no one could stop him. So it was pretty insane for me to kind of be blessed with the opportunity to carry the company on my shoulder now. So here I am sitting as the Honor Among Wrestling Midwest champion, and currently have had it for 136 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Woo!
So
Nice, nice. See, I
yeah,
see
and
here you got a match coming up, an Iron Man match, if I'm not mistaken.
I do 30-minute Iron Man match against Gunner Brave, another Black and Brave graduate. Um that kid is insane. since my time of just being at shows, on the same shows with him, I've seen this dude do so much stuff that leaves everybody like at a loss of words. I've seen him take risks that no one's willing to take, and I kind of consider myself a risk taker and a bit of a daredevil at times.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
like, man, just the possibilities of, you know, just thinking about the things that could happen in that match is going to be insane. Plus there's, you know, the stipulation of the Iron Man. So there's so many elements to that match that has me so hyped for that. And, you know, I've said it quite a bit before. Like, I've had a lot of challenges, like real challenges, you know, personally for myself to kind of see if I can really do this.
Mhm.
And I've passed those ones, but this one's going to be tough. Like 30 minutes, you know, straight, second bell to bell. It's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be nonstop, and it's going to be a tough one, you know. And I got
Didn't
a
you
lot of.
just compete in a ladder match?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Didn't you just compete in a ladder match?
I did actually. So Midwest Championship Wrestling. We just had a show with Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick had the opportunity to challenge Nasty Nick Nolan, who was his former student. They told a wonderful story with that. They main evented, and on the same show, Midwest Championship Wrestling had a contract opportunity for everyone involved, and whoever won had a championship opportunity in the future. And I was able to overcome everything. You know, Conan Lycan was in that match. Gunnar Brave was in that match. Ethan Everhart
Wow.
was in that match.
Wow.
Heather Reckless was in the match. Um,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
there's Everett Benton from Zawa. There's so many good talents that were on that show, but especially in that ladder match that, like, just looking at that as a fan and as an outsider, you would think I have no chance. And Heather as well. Heather was, of course, the fan favorite, but, you know, I kind of got my ass kicked a little bit in that and found the opportunity to steal it, and I did. And this past Saturday, I cashed in, and now I'm sitting here as the Midwest Championship world champion. So
Nice.
I'm
That's beautiful.
at a loss of words still. You know, things are still surreal. Things are happening so fast. There's so many things that, you know, regular people ain't seeing that happens day to day. And like I said earlier, I suffered a concussion February 2nd. And I was out, you know, I woke up in the hospital and stuff like that. So that was kind of like a what the hell moment. But also I had understood I had an opportunity still sitting in front of me, you know? And I think me in the locker room at MCW and the fans themselves can agree that Nasty Nick Nolan cannot represent Midwest Championship Wrestling
Yeah.
or any company. He disrespects everybody in the locker room. He disrespects the management. He disrespects the fans, most importantly. And he had a real chance at stealing this championship from Koa Laxamana, and I just was not going to let that happen. And if anyone at that point in time had anything to do to make anything happen, it was me. I had the legal obligation with the contract to do what I needed to do. And, you know, some people may see that as a robbery for those guys. They may see that as a blessing for me, but I truly believe at the end of the day that Nick Nolan cannot represent Midwest Championship Wrestling, and that is exactly why I sit here today as the Midwest Championship Wrestling World Champion.
Ooh.
You had the opportunity presented to you and you took it, man. That's great.
And that's what most of this business is about at the end of the day.
Yep.
Seizing an opportunity that's given to you or that you've worked for and trying to make the most out of it, you know? And
Yeah.
I've only been in this business for a short time, but it is a huge honor, no pun intended, but to be able to be respected enough and admired enough and to know that everything that I'm doing, the effort that I'm putting in is paying off. So without guys like yourselves and the fans that follow, you know, none of this would be possible. So
Yep.
this is not only my journey, this is everyone's journey who wants to follow. And I try to post that on a lot of the stuff, that I post. The journey continues because I'm just getting started. So this is only the
Absolutely.
beginning.
And being so young, preparing for an Ironman match, how do you do that?
A lot of cardio, a lot of tape study. Definitely want to know what your opponent's going to be coming at you with. Some things that he might try to pull out his sleeve. Like I said, I've seen Gunner do some amazing things that's left people at a loss of words. He's very athletic, very agile, but he's also very smart, and I don't think people really give him that credit. I think they kind of overlook that. Um, he's a daredevil for sure. He's a risk taker, and I think that's all people really see with him. But I know he can wrestle, and I feel comfortable in my ability that I can wrestle, and I know that I can hang with him, and I can hang with the best. I've been on a mission statement this whole year in the last part of last year to try to get in there with the very best that the companies have to offer, just so I
Absolutely.
can get better. And that's how I kind of look at this match. This is a real opportunity for me to go out there and have fun, be safe, tell a story, represent the company, but also prove to not only Honor Among Wrestling or the Midwest, but to everybody who watches wrestling in general, to the whole world that, hey, this A.M.B kid, he's not all that bad, but this Gunner Brave kid, you know, that's the future. And I hands down believe that that kid's going to go places. And so to even have the opportunity to even just be in the ring with him will be awesome. Um, I can't really say much bad about Gunner, as much as I would like to, and kind of sell the story. I'm being authentic here. The guy is
Good.
he's a genuine dude, and he is the future. He's proven that. He's been around for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, and every single time he leaves the crowd just wanting him
Wanting
more.
more.
Yeah, you know, and
Mhm.
It's like one of those respect matches that there's no
Yeah.
feud. It's just pure respect. And that's rare to see in wrestling. And it's great to see because the chemistry is going to be there and the match is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it.
I agree. I'm so excited for that. Um, Also coming, like, I suffered that concussion, so I'm just moving diligently over the last week or so. Just been kind of going to shows and helping out and showing my face and stuff like that. But um, yeah, that's going to be a real test for me. I think honestly, that's going to be one of those matches that at the end of it, win or lose, I know I could be proud of that, and I'm looking forward to that.
So being such a young world champion, and now finding out that you're a double champion right now,
Yeah.
having a target that big on your back. I mean, how do you prepare yourself for that mentally and physically?
You just gotta be prepared for whatever comes at you. Um, a lot of tape study. That's the fortunate thing with this. There's a lot of guys out here getting after it. They're making their rounds, they're making their towns, and everyone's everyone's got some sort of content out there. So if you know who you're going up against, it's always good to kind of watch some film. You can go about it that way. Um, Mentally though, like, I kind of like just winging it, showing up and seeing how the night's going to go, and just kind of spitballing ideas and throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Um, because I'm a perfectionist, and if I get too caught up in that mindset and things just don't go right, it can cause me a lot of issues. So I try not to really be too particular about stuff, but definitely preparing and watching a lot of tape is something that I try to do, and I definitely like make it a point to do when I'm leading up for matches, especially bigger matches like this one with me and Gunner. Um,
Mhm.
because
I was just like when I go up to training and stuff, and I get in the middle of that ring, and I'm trying to remember the sequence that they're laying out in front of me and stuff. I feel like that's the most difficult part is remembering the sequence versus actually going out there and performing and doing what and working with the person that you're working with versus what they're trying to train you, and you're trying to remember each step of the sequence so you don't screw up. I just feel like the training part seems to be a lot for me personally, I guess, seems to be a lot more a lot harder than actually going out and doing the show itself.
Well, I mean, yeah, training. Training is training can be tricky at times, just because if you get a little comfortable training in front of like just the warehouse,
Mhm.
and I also deal with some kind of social anxieties. I'm getting better with it because of wrestling. But I was really horrible. Like I never was able to even speak in front of like 10 people, let alone do stuff like this. So uh and I got comfortable with being in my own element, so when I got kind of thrown out there in front of the audience on a live show, it was the most terrifying thing ever. So, but you have to be mentally sharp in this, in wrestling. For a lot of reasons, you also you want to take care of yourself, you want to take care of your opponent, and have fun and entertain, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're here to entertain. But you know, you want to, if you're gonna represent something or go out there and showcase a sport, especially, you want everything to look good. So it's okay. I've seen people take years before they have their first match. I've seen people rush, like myself. I kind of rushed into some things, and there's always a timing for everybody. And I think people kind of get frustrated at some point with that because they have this expectation of like a timeline in their head. So, it's okay, but definitely just if you start with something, just stick with it. And like especially with wrestling, like as long as you don't quit and you keep doing your role and putting in the effort that you need to, just like with anything in life, there will be opportunities that will come. So, keep keep doing what you need to do, to better yourself mentally, physically, and try to learn a little bit more about wrestling, like everybody does. It's like, and you'll be surprised, there's so many people that are willing to help, and I think that's the most beautiful thing about where we're at with our level with professional wrestling, is everyone's out here helping everybody. So just be
Absolutely.
patient. Training will come to you, and all that experience will catch up and it'll click. Once it starts clicking, it becomes
Well,
second
and I
nature.
kind of noticed, like each time that I'm going to training, um, and especially when those actual wrestlers that are out there performing, like Sky Blue and Kyle Fletcher, when I was watching them, when they showed up, I felt like I felt kind of a need to do better. And that last sequence that I ran on Thursday, even Steve told me, he said, you did a lot better on that sequence than you did earlier tonight. So it seems like you're starting to catch on a little bit with the things that you're supposed to be doing. So I think I felt like I needed to kind of prove myself when those actual wrestlers that have been out there performing and that are made it to the big times already, like AEW and stuff. When they showed up, I felt the need to try to prove myself a little bit, and I started getting a little bit more, and it started clicking a little bit better for myself. So,
But here's the thing for me with the whole AEW and WWE thing. There
mhm.
is no AEW or WWE without indie wrestling.
True.
There is no big companies without
The
these guys
small times,
in
the
the
small
small
times where it
towns.
starts and then it goes big. Without those little guys that started on the ground and worked their way up, WWE wouldn't have those big stars. Like A.M.B. yourself, one day we're hoping to see you up there in the bigger ranks, up there in AEW, WWE, and stuff like that. And the way you're going right now, man, I mean, you're a double champ right now. With the way you're going, you definitely will make it. And we love seeing you perform every time you step in that ring. And I can't wait for March 16th. So that's going to be
Oh,
great.
when your music hits, man, I get amped. You see me in the crowd stand up and let's go, let's get it.
Yeah.
Man, you put on one hell of a show, my guy.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
talking you sell, you take crazy bumps, some nasty shots. You are wrestling. You are the reason why we do this podcast. A guest like yourself, so humble, double champion, still coming back on the talk with us guys. You are the reason why we do this. To come watch you wrestle and to interview guys just like you.
I appreciate that. That's like the biggest compliment I can get. And at the end of the day, it kind of goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, like that's really what I'm here to do, whether it's impacting someone, whether it's my own, nephew or someone else's daughter or son or someone else who has just the same interests and passions, as me. And I think that's one of the things that kind of has helped me, like I hit the curtain and like something changes, literally something changes. Like I'm not really the most social person, but I I go through that curtain and I'm comfortable, and the passion exuberates from me. Um and I think it rubs off on the fans. I've seen, just from my own perspective, I've seen some shows, some fans are kind of quiet and they're just hanging out, having a good time still, but they're just enjoying what they see. And then as soon as like me or my opponent or someone else hits, like someone who has the same energy hits the curtain, they know like, oh, whoa, this is going to be different. Like this is a different energy than the first few matches, and I think that's kind of like helped me in the long run. People don't know what to expect, and I think hitting the curtain, letting that passion just flow out of me, I sometimes I'll yell, stuff like that, but the interactions is what's most important. Making the moments is most important. There's one of my favorite photos that I got from the HAW crew, and shout out to Riley. She does amazing photos, awesome ringside action shots. Like she got a photo of me and a little girl from Iowa shaking hands, and it was the most adorable photo to me, just because I was kind of like just peeking out throughout the show. And it was a cold show that night, so everyone was just kind of hanging out trying to stay warm.
Yep.
And that moment just opened her up. From there on to the rest of the show, she was having fun, she was out of her seat, and it's like those are the things that mean the most to me. So to hear these types of things, to see, see the potential that you guys see in me. Like I've had a lot of people say things to me where like they see more potential in myself than I do sometimes. So it's very humbling, and you guys humble me. So, I'm always going to be grateful to you guys, because no matter where this journey takes me, whether it takes me to the big stage or not, like you guys were here from the beginning. And I always try to remember those people, no matter what's going on. I just always try to help, and I always want to make an impact. So to hear that you guys can see me going that far and having big aspirations, it's really humbling, and it means a lot. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Oscar
I've been
Miguel Rodriguez said in the comments, "Sky's the limit for this kid. His heart and passion for this business is far beyond unexplainable. When you say eat, sleep, the business's kid is the definition of that. Much love, brother, and then keep up the great work wrestling with bros as well." So yeah, just to hear comments like that from the fans, it tells us that
absolutely.
we're doing a good thing, and it also says that you are making it, A.M.B, that you are doing this thing in the business, and absolutely just shining, and says a lot. So definitely,
yeah, I know we're, on at shows and on paper and stuff, a lot of us ain't supposed to like each other and everything like that, but sincerely, it was very heartwarming for me to, after my, accident in early February, when I got the concussion and stuff, it was a gnarly scare, and I've never really dealt with anything like that. And to wake up basically and check my phone and see the amount of wrestlers, trainers, mentors, fans,
Mhm.
family, friends, people I haven't heard of in like 10 years, like following my accounts and seeing what I'm doing and still keeping a close eye. But once something like that happens, it was just it really it did bring a tear to my eye at one point, because like these are people I had just met a year ago. Some of them I'm just meeting for the first time, currently. So it's like it's very surreal to think that like just 3 years ago life was so different, and it's changed in a year's time, all because I've applied myself to what I want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most beautiful thing. I took a bet on myself personally in life, and I kind of was disgruntled with the job that I had and wanted to pursue this again. And I'm having the time of my life. So to know that I'm making impacts on people means so
Same.
much, and to know that people genuinely want the best for me is even better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Big baby, you started to say something. I apologize. I cut you off just a second ago.
Oh, I was just gonna come in and say I've been waiting all year to get A.M.B on and say he was the 2023 video of the year on our YouTube account, with over 100 views.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, A.M.B, for the video of the year and for always being so humble and coming on the show, man. It's so great to have you, dude. I have so much respect for you. It's so much respect, man, for a wrestler that has so much respect for our podcast and gives us so much love back in return. It's just such a great partnership, man, and I've enjoyed it so much. But coming to that part of the show, we're gonna do honorable mentions. Judas Black.
Honorable mention, man. Definitely goes out to A.M.B tonight. I actually have a couple. A.M.B. Thank you, man, for being such an amazing, guest, an amazing performer. Just week in and week out. I see videos, I see posts, and you make guys like myself that are just starting out really, want to have that passion, that want to keep going, want to keep driving, because we want to get to where you are. We want to be able to do the same things that you're doing. And so I just want to say thank you for that. Also my other one goes out to my trainer currently up CSW, Steve Boz. I'm not perfect yet. I'm still got a lot of learning yet to do, but you've got a lot of faith in me, and that says a lot to me, because you know this isn't easy. It's not. There's a lot to learn, but I'm slowly figuring it out, and I'm going to keep on pushing and keep on thriving until I'm in that ring, ready to step up to A.M.B. So
No, thank you, man. Like, you guys have always supported me since you guys laid eyes on me and seen me in the ring. You guys always do a good job at, being super respectful to all the wrestlers at every show you guys are at. So, I can't really be an asshole to you guys. You guys are good people, and I like you guys, and I don't like being an asshole anyway. Excuse my language.
No, you're
But
good.
you're good, bro. You're good.
yeah, no, I just want to give the people that's coming into the wrestling business the same like reciprocation that I got. It was very welcoming. You hear all these horror stories and these things, but I'm having nothing but fun. And I just want everyone else that loves wrestling to just enjoy wrestling. And if they have passion and they know that they seriously want to do this and they want to do it, you know, I'm living proof of it in a way. Every last one of us are, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like I literally bet on myself, and no one understood what I wanted to do. And now that I did what I needed to get here at this point, they're seeing what I'm trying to do, and everyone's been on board. So you two especially, I am nothing but grateful to you two. And anytime you guys want me back on, feel free to just hit me up. You guys can
Absolutely.
contact me. I love talking to you guys. So
Absolutely. And Facebook user says the Indies is truly. Oh, sorry, Big Baby. Do you want to pull that back up real quick?
Oh, my bad.
The Indies is truly a huge family. the love and support for each other is so amazing to see.
It is.
And Oscar Miguel Rodriguez says, A.M.B, what is the biggest piece of advice you can give to any guys or girls who want to pursue wrestling as a career?
Know your why. Know why you want to do this. Because, like Judas said, and like I'm gonna say, this is not easy. You know, if this was easy, everyone would be wrestlers on the weekends. Or would
Yep.
be in WWE. There's a reason. We make the impacts that we do on the people who follow us and the people that support professional wrestling. Uh, we're telling stories, and we're making connections with people and with audiences, big ones. And you definitely want to know your why, it's okay if it looks fun to, and you want to do it and stuff like that, but have a goal. Uh, my first goal when I started was I just want to do it, I just want to do it. um Life happened, and life isn't always sweet at times. It can be hard to swallow. And my nephew got sick with cancer, and like he fell out of wrestling, and that was kind of how him and my brother, his dad bonded. That's how me and his dad bonded. Wrestling has never left my side. Even for the few years that I quit watching, I still looked into it, and like always, you know I didn't know why I wanted to do this, but I just wanted to have fun because it looked fun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until then, I just wanted to show him that he could do something. And then it steamrolled, of course. That was the whole purpose of me pursuing this again, is to prove that, like, if you apply yourself, you can do whatever you want. And I didn't know why I was doing it, but to know that I not only made an impact on him, my other nephew, my niece, and friends and family, but you guys, people, kids I've never met, stuff like that. This is bigger now than just what I thought it was. This is way bigger than what I ever imagined it to be. So you definitely want to come in with this with intent and know your why. Um, and it can be insulting to people. There's a lot of people that will take that insulting if you don't know why you're doing this.
Yep.
So it will save you a lot of headaches. It'll save you a lot of grief, and it'll just make things so much easier when times get rough, when you are getting challenged in a lot of ways that you've never been pushed before. Uh, Always knowing why you started is the best thing. Um, it's helped me a lot. Before I hit the curtain, got those anxieties and stuff. I remember why I'm doing this stuff, and you know, it just makes it so much more enjoyable. So develop a why, and honestly, just a lot of cardio, man. Not many people really realize this. This is a lot of cardio. You got to have lungs for this. So,
Mm-hmm.
and mental sharpness, you got to be mentally aware. But having a why is going to help you so much in the long run. So that's my advice to anyone who wants to pursue anything, but especially wrestling, professional wrestling. You
You
got to have
know,
intent when you join this.
yep. I have my why. Starting out when I was younger, and I started watching wrestling for the first time, I said I want to do that one day. Like that's what I want to do, And for a long time, it just seemed like a distant opportunity for me,
Yeah.
And then recently I found out about CSW, and I was like, that opportunity started coming closer again. It told me you can still do this, but you better do it before you get too old. And so I was like, I got to chase this, I got to chase my dream. It's something I want to do. And more recently, my boys have shown interest in the same things. As far as it goes with wrestling, like my oldest is like, Dad, I want to do that one day. I want to be able to wrestle too. So now that gives me even more ambition to say, yeah, now I want to do this because now my sons want to do this. This
Right.
is something that I can pass down to them. Even as I get older and I'm not able to do it anymore, I'll be able to bring them into the business, be able to bring them into this, and show them things, and also get them into training and stuff so they can also perform in front of crowds and do the things that they want to do with their life. So
Exactly. And it's like those little things that happen over time, those little moments. Oh, Dad, this is cool. You know what I mean? Like that stuff happened with my nephews and stuff and my niece. And it was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then when I seen it really happen with like a fan the first time, it really like blew my mind away. I had
Yep.
three little girls that were in tears, crying, wanting to talk to me because they thought I was hurt, and they had never been to wrestling. They had never even watched Raw. Their grandma just
Wow.
took them out, and it was insane. But they showed up next week, so it was like, man, that is why we do this, and they still follow me to this day, so it's it's awesome, just developing a why, knowing what your intent is and what your goals are is going to take you very far in the business. And just don't quit, because the moment you quit on yourself, this is all over. um,
Yep.
there's people, of course, that will guide you and help you and do what they can, but at the end of the day, this is so individual and things are subjective. So you have to really have goals, and if
Yeah.
you're not gonna have anything or an intent or a goal or an aspiration, or most people will say they want to leave the business better off than it was when they first started, and that's like the easiest way to explain it, so
Absolutely.
Well, we've come down to that time where it's unfortunately time to say goodbye. I'm Big Baby Ben.
Judas Black.
A.M.B.
It's good talking to you again tonight, brother. Never a dull moment with you, man. We appreciate you coming on. This is Judas Black, and it's been another amazing episode of Wrestling with Bros. Have a good night, guys.